And we are live with a right angle release show for Saturday, January 14th. And you guessed it right. It is a very, very busy Saturday morning. More than 110 games on the card, NFL playoffs, a little bit of everything. And it's good to see how many people are live in the chat for this very busy Saturday morning. Before we get going with the first setup of the day, just want to remind everybody that there is a subscribe button down below, and it's important to hit it because you're going to get those push notifications. You hear me say it every show, but the importance increases as the chance of a subscriber-only show sneaking in on these very busy days increases as well. So if you want to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, will go a long way to helping out Right Angle Sports. There was also a video that we put up yesterday, 3 commonly asked questions about Right Angle Sports, about these release shows, some information there. We'll have a number of others to address a lot of the questions that we see in the chat. For those of you on the YouTube app, you can always leave a message in the chat. We're seeing what they are, we're curating them, and we're putting them in videos to answer them one by one. So when you have those questions about specifics here on the release shows, you'll see those answered in the coming days as well. So lots of good things going on here beyond just the release shows. With all of that said, it is a busy Saturday morning, so let's get to the first setup on this card. Give everybody a couple seconds as we bring up the odds screen, and we will be bouncing around quite a bit today, so I will give everybody more than fair warning for when we jump from full game to first half and anywhere in between. We'll have some advanced warnings on those because there will be some jumping around within your sportsbook app. First setup of this Saturday card is game number 653, Kansas State TCU under 147, and it is at 2 p.m. Eastern time. 653 Kansas State TCU under 147, 2 p.m. Eastern time. And again, for those of you who are new to the show, setups are simply adding it to your bet slip, and we will have a determination on the setup in 5 seconds on Kansas State TCU under 147. $653 Kansas State TCU under 147 is a cancel. We're not betting Kansas State TCU under 147. This is a cancel. Busy Saturday starts off with a cancel on Kansas State TCU under 147. Moving on, second setup of this Saturday card. We're going to game number 654, Kansas State TCU over at 147.5, 2 p.m. Eastern time. 654, Kansas State TCU over 147.5, 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll go 5 more seconds here. Kansas State TCU over 147.5. Game number 654, Kansas State TCU over 147.5 is a cancel. We're not betting Kansas State TCU over. This is a cancel. If you have it in your bet slip, remove it from your bet slip as we are not betting it. This is a cancel. A couple more seconds before we get to setup number 3. Ryan Laird knows exactly what's going on. We are cashing the cancel over. Expect a lot of cancels. Next setup. Game number 612, Northeastern -2 at 12 p.m. Eastern time. Top of your sportsbook list, Northeastern -2, game number 612. Five more seconds on 612 Northeastern -2. Game number 612 Northeastern -2 is a go. We are betting Northeastern -2. This is a go. Bet Northeastern -2 immediately if you have it in your bet slip. Northeastern -2 is a go. First go of this busy Saturday card as we see sportsbooks start to move some fairly aggressively. Looking at Caesars specifically, my goodness. But now here goes the rest of the board lighting up. looks like a lot of people are going to have success here. 1.5 for Evan Tracy, 1.5 for B Sports, 1.5 for Jake. Brother Malzone, -2. Garrett, -1.5. Everyone got that -1.5 that was sitting there at FanDuel. I know people said they were moving quickly, but that one, as you can see, was moving pretty slow. Lots of 2s showing up in the chat as well. Same thing for Harrison. Same thing for Cole. Alex got the 1.5. This chat is tough to keep up with. A lot of people in the chat. Very good to see. And also very good to see a lot of -2s showing up. Brian was able to get the 2 at PPH as well. A lot of 2s showing up in the chat along with those 1.5s that people were able to get. So a good first go on Northeastern -2. And it's an early start for those of you who are spending the day watching sports between college basketball and the NFL. Busy Saturday kicks off with Northeastern -2 at 12 p.m. Eastern. Next setup will be a first half. So give everybody a little bit here to get over to the first half menu at your sportsbook. This will be a first half setup. So take a couple seconds here before we get to it so you can get to the first half section of the sportsbook. Next setup is for the first half, game number 601, Davidson, George Mason, first half over 64, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Top of the board for rotation. 601, Davidson, George Mason, first half over 64 at 12 p.m. Eastern. Couple more seconds. 601, Davidson, George Mason, first half over 64. Davidson, George Mason, first half over 64 is a cancel. Not betting Davidson, George Mason, first half over 64. This is a cancel. Move it from your bet slip as we carry on to the next setup in just a couple more seconds. For the next setup, we will stay within the first half section of the sportsbook menu. It'll be another first half setup. And for this first half, we are going to game number 642, Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5 at 2 p.m. Eastern time. 642, Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5. Give everybody 10 more seconds to find Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5. Game number 642, Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5 is a go. We are betting Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5. This is a go. Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5 is a go. Starting now to see everything on the board respond. First half's usually those couple of seconds extra slower than what you're going to see for the full game. Doug was able to get the 67.5. Parker was able to get 67.5, a point better than the release odds. Same thing with Michael. Russ was able to get 66.5 at Buckeye PPH. Same thing for Harrison, but that chat moved in a hurry. Horatio, 66.5. Same thing with Steve. Saw another 67.5 as well popping up in the chat. Buckeye, PPH, Nash, 66.5 as well. Bobby was able to get 66.5 too. Lots of 66.5s showing up in the chat, but good to see people were able to get a point better in a lot of places as well. Ken was able to get 67, half a point better. Looks like a second good release of the show here. Delaware, Hofstra, first half under 66.5. We'll get out of the first halves and go back to the full games for the next setup. So we'll give everybody a few seconds to jump back and get to the full game section, moving away from the first halves for the next ones, getting to the full game section again for the next setup. Next setup is Game number 654, Kansas State TCU under 147. This is at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 654, Kansas State TCU under 147 at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Few more seconds for 654, Kansas State TCU under 147. Game number 654, Kansas State TCU under 147 is a cancel. We are not betting 654, Kansas State TCU under 147. This is a cancel. If you have any new bet slip, remove it. We are not betting Kansas State TCU under 147. This is a cancel. Next setup, we'll go back to the first half section of the sportsbook. Keep everybody bouncing around this morning. Again, it's a busy Saturday morning. We got a lot of places to go and a lot of places to look at and set up. We will move back to the first halves for the next setup. All right, this is a first half setup. We are setting up game number 620, Western Carolina Citadel under 68.5. Give everybody a couple more seconds to set up. 619, 620, Western Carolina Citadel under 68.5. Couple more seconds. 620, Western Carolina Citadel under 145. This is a cancel. I have botched multiple times here on this cancel. It is a cancel on Western Carolina Citadel. Biggest gaffe in release show history with setting up a cancel. I don't think I have ever set up and botched on a cancel this badly, but that is a all-time misfake on Western Carolina Citadel under. There we go. I told you it was a busy Saturday. We got a lot of places. The first half full game with the cancel has me bouncing all over the place. That is a cancel, and that is a good one. It's not as bad as Harry Peter, but that was a very close one to having this for an all-time gaffe. But that was a good one. Whoever got me the last couple shows ago with that one sneaking in, but this one was equally as bad. As we get to the next setup, back to the full game section of the board for the next setup, we're going to game number 735, Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 133.5 at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. 735, Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 135.5. Give everybody 10 more seconds. 735, Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 133.5. Game number 735, Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 133.5 is a cancel. We're not betting 735, Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 133.5. This is a cancel. Move it from your bet slip. We are not betting Northern Arizona, Sacramento State over 133.5. Next setup on the board. Going to game number 701, UC Irvine minus 11.5, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. 701, UC Irvine minus 11.5, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Give everybody 10 more seconds. 701, UC Irvine minus 11.5, 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Game number 701, UC Irvine minus 11.5 at 4 p.m. Eastern is a cancel. We are not betting 701 UC Irvine minus 11.5. This is a cancel. We're not betting it. Remove it from your bet slip. It is a cancel. Continue to move on. North of 15 minutes. We'll keep the pace going here. Setting up game number 775 Chicago State UT Rio Grande Valley over 151, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. 775 Chicago State UT Rio Grande Valley over 151, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Give everybody 10 more seconds. Chicago State UT Rio Grande Valley over 151, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Game number 775, Chicago State UT Rio Grande Valley over 151 is a cancel. This is a cancel. We are not betting Chicago State UT Rio Grande Valley over. This is a cancel. Moving on with the next setup. We're going back to the first half section of the card. It'll be a first half setup. Give everybody a few seconds to switch over to the first half. Next setup of today is game number 709, Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Game number 709, Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half at 4 p.m. Eastern. Five more seconds. 709, Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half is a go. We are betting Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half. This is a go. You want to be betting this immediately. Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half is a go. Let us know where you found Iowa State, Kansas over 63 for the first half. Christian got it. Jim was able to get it as well. Same thing with Chris. Harrison found it at PPH. Seeing Chance got it 63, moved in a hurry. Steve was able to get 63 as well. Michael found 63 offshore. Seeing Wicks got 63 as well. Same thing with Joe, who was able to get it. I see what John tried to do there. He tried to sneak one in on me. Not getting by me this time. I know I had a gaffe earlier, not doing it again. Joe was able to get the 63 as well. Keegan found 63 at a PPH as well. Same thing for Ramsey, who was able to get it as well. Seeing Joe was able to find it offshore as well at the 63. Looks like another successful release as well. Seeing some minus 105s as well as a lot of 63s up at Buckeye posted within the chat too. With people finding over 63 for Iowa State and Kansas. Busy Saturday. Mentioned it at the top. Certainly held through. Eventful show, to say the least. A number of releases. I'll have the full recap on Twitter as well as within the Discord. That'll conclude it for today. Always a chance of another one coming up later in the day in terms of another show. That will be sent out, as always, to those of you who are subscribed down below to the YouTube channel. You will get those notifications pushed out to you as this show is scheduled. Enjoy a very busy Saturday. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I'll have the recap posted shortly, and we'll talk to you on the next one.